I'm in over $200,000 from one faceless YouTube channel. Today I'm going to go over step by step exactly how I did it and give you the exact framework so you can replicate it as well. My name's Ricky, I'm 20 years old and I've been doing faceless YouTube channels for over 7 years now. I run a bunch of faceless channels that have allowed me to do YouTube full time. I don't go to university, I don't have a regular job, and I'm living the life I always wanted to as a kid, which is, being a full-time YouTuber and having my own schedule. Now I make these videos specifically on this channel for, the younger version of me that was 13 to 17. I was making a bunch of videos every single day and pretty much had no idea what I was doing. Like, I thought my videos were so good and I didn't know why YouTube, I guess, was punishing me and not letting me blow up. I had this dream of becoming a full-time YouTuber, but I could just never make it a reality and, I didn't know why. I thought YouTube just didn't like me, I thought that they were just punishing me and, I couldn't compete with bigger channels. Turns out that YouTube is a game, just like Minecraft, just like Fortnite, just like Clash of Clans, anything like that, and it can be cracked and there is a method to get out. So what took me pretty much 5 years out of my life as a kid to figure out, I'm literally on this channel giving it away completely for free, and all you have to do is actually just watch the videos. You can probably see from this channel right now, if you look at it, that I started this channel literally 1 week ago, and with no outside influence, nothing like that, I have 50 people that are literally learning from me every single day. However, just before we start this, I just know that this isn't gonna work for you at all. It's probably the 10th video of like one of these clickbaity, like how to make money with automation on YouTube, how to make $10,000 in 3 weeks, how to, whatever, all that BS you see out there. I just need you to know this one thing right now, and this is probably gonna hurt my analytics, it's probably gonna hurt the retention on this video, but this channel right here is only for people that are completely dedicated. I don't want a bunch of people watching these videos, bouncing around, skipping to different sections and just like messing everything up. I don't want this channel to get 50k, 100k, a million subscribers, anything like that. I'd literally rather just have 10 to 20 or even 50 people consistently watch this channel that actually want to, watch the channel and actually take some action. I only want people that are completely dedicated and actually take action to the words that I say here, rather than just like 20 to 50,000 random people that just like want a little dopamine rush from all the, high editing and everything like that, and people like probably you that just sit here, watching educational content all day thinking that you're being productive, but in reality you're probably procrastinating like an actual task that you need to do. That's probably you, isn't it? But look, if you stick around and actually listen to the advice that I give out and actually take action like the people that are watching my videos at the moment, I can pretty much guarantee that this video is going to change your life. The methods that I teach here, they're slow and they're boring and they're not going to get you rich overnight. That's not the point of this. The point is to build a solid foundation so that when you actually get to the top here, you don't just come crumbling down. And these are lessons that I wish I learned 5 to 6 years ago. I can guarantee that if I had a video like this pop up in my feed when I was like 13 to 15, I would be thanking the person so much, because the value I have to teach you if you actually lock in and pay attention is immeasurable. Like, it's invaluable. And I'm not saying that to big myself up, I'm saying that as like a wake-up call, that if you actually listen to this, it will work for you. I've done this before, I've done this several times on several different channels, and again, I've got 7 years of experience. So look, all I need you to do right now is take your hands off the mouse, stop scrolling the comments, stop scrolling through different tabs or whatever, just like put this video in full screen, give me your full undivided attention, and it'll change your life, I can guarantee it. So anyways, enough of the chat, let's actually jump in and I'll show you exactly how I did this. So this right here is my channel Glider Guy. It's got 425k subs, I've been doing it since I was 13 years old, and this channel has it's got the craziest storyline on the planet. I'm not going to go through everything, I'm just going to go over the main tips and the framework that I use to actually scale this channel, and all the lessons I learned from it along the way, because, on your YouTube journey, you're going to experience so many different things when it comes to employing people, when it comes to, the logistics of employing people, when it comes to actually blowing up and everything like that. Like, there's just so much to learn. But if I can help you avoid the mistakes that I made, you can probably do it triple, quadruple, 5 times faster than I did, and you'll save so much stress and so much hassle. So let's start from the start. So here we are, these are my first videos right here. As you can see, just by one look at them, you can tell they're absolutely terrible. I mean, the video length, like 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I mean, like, bro, you gotta be making longer videos than that. Of course, you can make short videos, but for the actual method that I'm gonna be teaching today, which is faceless commentary, so this channel is in the niche of like commentary, I guess like reactions, but it's faceless, so I don't show my face in these videos. But essentially what I started off with, it's pretty obvious. So I started off with like Fortnite, and then like there was a bit of like cringe sort of stuff in there. The first lesson I want to teach you is a consistent niche. So essentially when you start out, like I don't know, like some of you might have started channels already, some of you might have been posting a ton of content. A lot of you might have done what I did when I was 13, which is just post a bunch of different random things and then just hope and pray to God that YouTube would blow me up. This is such an easy mistake to fix, it's not even funny. Literally, the first thing I want you to know right now is when you're going for a niche, when you're trying to pick pick something, pick one thing, and you can even niche down into that niche. So for example, if you want to go the gaming route, which I tried to do, like pick a niche in that gaming route. There's so many different things. There's like high level production stuff where, you know, you do one video a month and you make it incredible. A bit like Laserbeam does, a bit like Mr. Beast Gaming does, where, you know, you spend a bunch of money and do all that stuff. Or you can go the route of like how-to videos, like I guess talking about how to do different exploits or like a bunch of different things, how to jailbreak systems. I've seen a bunch of them. Or you can do the route that I was doing, which is like meme videos. But if you're gonna pick one niche, I need you to stick to that one niche, and you're gonna have to stick to it for 1, 2, 3, 4 months, maybe even 6 months, maybe even a year, maybe even a couple of years. This is the thing with YouTube, is that there's no telling like when you're actually gonna blow up, and especially when you're starting off. I guess it's a lot easier when I start a channel now. I can pretty much guarantee that within a month I'll be able to monetize a channel. But you watching this video right now, you're probably 13 to 15, like you probably think you have a lot of experience like I did when I was 13 to 15, but realistically I didn't. I had like 2 months under my belt, you know. I'd been messing around making videos in school, but like that doesn't really count. I thought I had more experience than I did. I thought I was more qualified than I actually was. What you gotta do, and I just need you to take action on this, like this is one of the things where I need you to pay attention. Just pick a niche and stick to it. Don't skip around. Like if you see different niches and you think, oh, I might be able to try that, just don't do it, bro. Seriously, just don't do it. Because the way YouTube works is that the algorithm literally handpicks a bunch of people that are in that specific niche. So let's say you make a video and you get like 200 views, right? And it's in the gaming niche. It's in like the gaming meme niche, for example, like for my first video here. YouTube then sets your channel in that category. So if you do what I did then, which is like make a random compilation video of like YouTuber cringe, completely different from the first video, that'll completely mess you up. That messes up that audience pool that YouTube had you going in, and then it just like disperses your audience. And then when you post videos, like some people will watch like a certain type of video, whether that be commentary, and then other people will watch gaming videos, and it just messes up your click-through rate. It messes up your attention because people are getting different things. The best advice I can give for someone that's starting out is just get good at one specific tight niche as possible and continue to post videos on like that. Post 100 videos, post 200 videos, just like get as good at that niche as you possibly can, and that will blow you up further than anything you possibly can. After that, once you get big, you can start experimenting with different niches and all that sort of stuff. But when you're starting out, please just stick to one thing. But that's not really what I did here, and as you can see, like obviously the views are a lot higher now because the channel blew up and people go back and watch older videos because it's like, oh, you know, I watched Glider Guy's first video, whatever. But these videos first day in the first 24 hours were literally getting like 20 to 30 views, and I had no idea why. It's so obvious looking back why. I mean, these are terrible, the thumbnails suck, the videos actually sucked as well. So it was really obvious why these videos weren't getting views, but I was like, I just didn't understand why. I was jumping on trends, I was doing different things, I was experimenting, and I was just like, I didn't know why. But I didn't really get out of this like 20 to 30 view trap until I stuck to one niche. So eventually I got to about here in my YouTube journey like 5 years ago, so I'd been posting videos for a while, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna completely switch up, and I just switched up to this like commentary niche. So I've been doing this for 5 years now, and it's literally just like, you know, a lot, these thumbnails started to get a tiny bit better, but realistically, I mean, the text is terrible and all this sort of stuff, and I still mixed in gaming videos here. Like, why was I doing that? But anyways, I kept going, and I kept getting a little bit more consistent, and then I did this random little parody thing here. Like, this is the sort of thing I'm talking about. It's like these random little videos where I just try to experiment and just like do different things. It seriously is not a good way to go about it. This is the biggest mistake I see from a bunch of younger people, like 13 to 17, and it's the exact mistake that kept holding me back. Because YouTube was starting to get these videos a little bit more, like I had Morg's videos, James Charles, whatever. They were starting to push me a little bit, and then I just ruin it with like a random gaming video, and then it just shut me back down again. This is exactly what is keeping you small. This is probably the main problem that I see from a lot of smaller channels. But yeah, I kept going, and the thing you guys gotta understand is like, this little, like, I guess error here where I was still really small, but I was starting to get a little bit more consistent. I was 14 years old at the time, and this was months and months and months of work. Maybe even years of work. Like, this was probably about a year. But at the time, I thought that this was like the hardest thing in the world. Like if I scroll down here, that little bit there, that was probably like a year. And it was frustrating. It was so annoying because I was making so many videos and I wasn't getting big. But the thing you gotta understand is like all these clickbait videos you watch are just warping your perception of what it actually takes to get big on YouTube. Again, like I said before, I have channels now where I can get it monetized in 30 days, but that is not you. Like that was me at 18, 19 after a bunch of years of experience. This is the reality of me when I first started. Like, I had no experience and I was terrible at YouTube. It took 2 years straight of posting videos without making a single dollar. And as you can see, this is just a whole lot of work with with zero reward at all. And like this can kind of go over your head, me just scrolling through, me just talking about this for a minute. But this was months of just me sitting up late at night, editing these videos, trying to make thumbnails, trying to do all this stuff, just to get like 50 views in the first day. Like, it's pretty heartbreaking, and I can understand you watching this video, you feeling that pain. You feel this pain because, you know, you get 30 views in the first day, and, you know, no one watches your videos. You go to school, and everyone's making fun of you. They're laughing at you for it. They're like, why are you sitting there wasting your time with these videos? You know, why don't you just, like, get a normal job, get a career, and actually, like, you know, go through school properly? But as I was making these videos, as much as it was paining me that these videos weren't doing well, I knew and I had a vision that this would all end up succeeding, and it would all end up paying off. And to be honest, around this time here is when I really started to, like my brain was just YouTube. It was all I thought about. I'd go to bed thinking about YouTube. I'd go to school thinking about YouTube. I'd be making thumbnails in class when I was like 20 assignments behind in like year 8 when I was 14. But then eventually you get around here, and this is when like I really started to gain a brand. Like, this is when my thumbnails became more consistent. This whole game about YouTube, like one of the biggest tips I can get you is consistency. And I know it's so obvious, and it's so like it's so overdrawn. Everyone says it all the time. But when I talk about consistency, I'm not just talking about your upload schedule. You know, like obviously if you set, you know, you're gonna post a video every 2 days, post a video every 2 days. If you say you're gonna post daily, post a video daily. Like, don't skip. But what I'm talking about consistency is consistency in your branding. So for these thumbnails here, pretty much what I did is I'd have like a screenshot in the background of, you know, the person's channel. So Rice Gum, for example. This video talking about Rice Gum, I'd have his channel in the background. I'd have his face with like this little white background, like this little white outline, like glow thing. And on the other side, I'd have like the topic. So he was banned on Twitch. I'd put the Twitch thing there. Again, looking back, these thumbnails are still horrible, but the point is that I had consistency. I had something going for me. And as you can see, these videos started to do a little bit better. I was getting like 100 views a video, 150, and things were starting to look okay. But then obviously, you know, some videos do worse than others. This video did terrible. I remember it getting like 40 views first day, but I never quit. I never gave up. This was like, I think I was like, I turned 15 at the time. This was 2020, so lockdown had just started. And once lockdown started, like I went from loving YouTube to just loving it like 8 times over. Like it was all I thought about. I did absolutely zero work during when I was like 15, which if my parents are watching this, I'm sorry. But look, eventually it got to a point where I think this is around mid 2020 where these videos I was so confident in. Like, I made them 8 minutes long. I was optimizing for YouTube. I was actually locking in. And then this video right here, you guys probably already know, I've talked about this before. This vegan teacher video, that vegan teacher needs to be stopped. Looking back even now, like again, these thumbnails are horrible, but it's the consistency that was getting me there. And this video got 88 views in the first day. I remember it. That vegan teacher needs to be stopped. It just looked like an ordinary video. But if we compared this video right here and the actual quality of it to, for example, if I go back here, reading the worst email, like this is my first commentary video.
If it sounds like I have a certain object in my throat that I can't name because Susan Wabblejack who killed my channel, it's because I'm bloody ill. That's probably...
Yeah, so, like, that first 10 seconds, I thought it was funny, I thought it was cool, but realistically, it just wasn't at all. In the time between that video right there and this vegan teacher video that you see now has 500,000 views, I didn't really... Like, every video that I made, I didn't really think I got that much better. But the point I want to make about you guys, just like, stop watching all these clickbait videos and actually begin and actually start making content, is because if you get 1% better every single video and you point out something that, you know, you can improve every single time, you go from a video like that to this, which I still think is bad, but I want to show it because it's a lot better.
Who use TikTok or have seen this woman on your For You page or Twitter or anything like that, you can tell that we're in for a bit of a ride today. Today we're going to be watching a few TikToks by a TikToker known as That Vegan Teacher on
already so much better, and that's not perfect, and I'm going to show even from this video 4 years ago to now, I've even improved so much more from that. But 11 seconds in, you already know what's going on. Like, I've already talked about, you know, this is the vegan teacher, you know, you guys might have seen her before. And I guess there was a bit of luck involved in this. Like, this was before the vegan teacher blew up. This is like August 2020. She kind of blew up around late 2020, 2021. So I was kind of one of the first people to actually talk about her. But essentially, like, this intro was infinitely better than this one right here. And it's only a year and a bit apart. Like, I think it's probably I guess 14 to 16 months apart. But because I kept consistent and I didn't switch around with niches, and I kept a consistent formula, I kept my thumbnails consistent, I kept everything going, you can get so good at such a niche part of YouTube that it's impossible for you not to blow up. It's just impossible. Because I had so much experience at this point. I had like a year and a bit, 2 years of experience in that specific commentary niche, instead of just messing around with different stuff, that video had to blow up. It just had to. Like, eventually this had to work. And as you can see, after this, it was just all uphill from here. Like, it was just like, you know, I'll post in a bunch of videos with the exact same thumbnail, exact same, like, branding, I guess. So anytime someone saw a video with this sort of title and this sort of thumbnail with like one word that was capitalized, and you know, the background of the account of the person, whatever else, everyone knew it was me, and everyone knew, because, you know, I'd blown up before and I actually had content that people like to watch, that the video that they were about to watch was going to be good as well. So yeah, I really never had a video that went really bad after that. And if you think the story ends here, because, you know, after this, like the next couple months, I was making way too much money for my age. Like, I'm talking 5 figures at like age 15, which is still crazy to think about. Unfortunately, you know, time goes on, the sun always comes up the next day, and since I was 15 and I'd never blown up on YouTube before, I didn't really know how to handle myself, I didn't really know what to do. Eventually this sort of slowed down, so, you know, I'm getting like 50 to 100k views a video. That ended up going up to like 150k, all this sort of stuff, and you know, every video was doing well. Eventually, you keep scrolling, you know, this is 4 years ago, a lot can happen in 4 years, and things just start to slow down. I think it was around here, so this was probably like my peak around this point, where I was talking about, you know, another vegan TikToker, a bunch of like Burger King getting cancelled, all this sort of stuff, TikTok trends, whatever, and then, you know, like time goes on, you know, I kind of ran out of ideas and I started to slow down a little bit. You can see these videos are getting like 30k, 20k, like 20k here. I had a few videos pop up over that time, but it was still like relatively, I was kind of going down a bit. I was 16 turning 17, and then eventually it got to a point where I don't know what happened. I kind of just fell out of love with YouTube. I wasn't really making videos that much, and I wasn't exactly on it, I guess you could say. I tried to do a bit more like clickbait stuff, which I guess worked. Like, Vegan Teacher was still doing well, but realistically, like, you know, my income was going down, my views were going down, and it was kind of like a downward spiral. But eventually what I did, and I don't know if you guys know this channel, but essentially I had like a really big switch up. One day I just woke up and I was like, look, like, I'm not making as much money as I was. Let's try and switch this up. So I switched from this commentary stuff, and this was probably the biggest mistake that I made, but short term, it was really good. I switched to these like weekly undercover videos where it was a lot more highly produced. I went into like a different community and I'd like troll around. So my biggest video here was me going into a vegan Discord server and getting banned with one of my mates, and it got like 4.4 million views, like absolutely huge. And I rode that wave as long as I could, but unfortunately, because these videos were so repetitive and they were just so different to what I normally did, which was talking about stuff over Minecraft gameplay, I mean, it died off really quickly. And eventually got to a point where I would have been getting 50k views, you know, 20 to 30k views a video with commentary stuff, and now I'm getting even less than that. You can see 11k, 19k, and eventually things really died out, and then I took a huge break. So after this, like, some of these videos are getting under 10k, which was absolutely horrible. I was 17, 18, and you know, I got a car, so my expenses were going up as well. This was a really shocking time, to be honest with you, and it was probably even worse than before I started to blow up, because this was the fall off. And let me just say right now, I think falling off on YouTube is even worse than not having blown up in the first place, because there's an expectation on you. There's an expectation to consistently get, you know, 100k views. And I want to be totally honest with you, like, you know, as much as I can sit here 7 years later, you know, I've gone through all this stuff and I can give you guys advice on how to avoid it. Like, it is an inevitable thing that's going to happen when you blow up. You will go back down for a bit. Like, no matter who you are, no matter what videos you make, you're never just gonna constantly go up. Like, this is something you guys need to learn. You know, you guys are probably 13 to 15. You need to learn that this is going to happen and you need to plan for it. So I tried to go back to this commentary stuff, but I'd kind of already ruined my audience pool, like I was talking about, with these random videos that people didn't end up subscribing to me for. People had subscribed for the commentary. They subscribed for me to talk about topics and, you know, make videos on Karens and Vegan Teacher or whatever. But then I just completely switched it up, and it was good in the short term. But again, like I said, like, these videos, I ended up switching back because it started to not work. I switched back to the commentary stuff and it just didn't really work out that well for me. And eventually I got to this point, which was probably my lowest, where some videos were still managing to blow up randomly, but I realistically just kind of lost the passion, the motivation from YouTube, and I just stopped posting for a while. And then I came back with a few more undercover videos. I was kind of just all over the place. But then we move on to about 3 months months ago where I really revived things and I really just sort of like stuck my head out of my bum and I actually locked in. So pretty much I kind of had this realization of where, like, you know, everyone subscribed to me in the first place for these commentary videos. Why did I switch up in the first place? And why am I still continuing to switch up? I'm trying to do more undercover videos. Like, this was a thing 3 to 4 years ago. Like, I'm living in the past. So I eventually gained a thumbnail style exactly like I did back in the day. I realized that the reason I blew up was because of, like I was talking about before, I stopped doing random different niches and I stopped, you know, switching up and doing different things and confusing my audience. I just had one specific style of thumbnail, I had one specific style of video that I was doing, and that's how I blew up. So at my channel's lowest point, where I did this random like undercover video, I decided one day I just woke up and I was like, look, I'm gonna do one specific style and I'm gonna stick to it. And as you can see, first video did terrible, second video 15k, but then third video I did this brain rot thing, and then after that it's kind of just been all uphill from there. Every video's been doing well, I'm getting really good consistent views now, and everything's kind of working out. Of course it's not perfect, of course, you know, things could be better. I could be so much further than I was right now if I didn't make these mistakes that I just talked about. But this whole 7-year journey that I've had right now has made, you know, the amount that I've said in the title. Like, it's made me over 200 grand at such a young age. And again, I have other channels as well, so that all compounds as well, and it just makes this whole thing work. So yeah, essentially what I want you to get away from this video as someone like you who is probably in their beginning stages of this journey is to let you know, I guess, what's ahead, but also how you can avoid what I've done as well, like all the mistakes that I've made. Because yeah, I can sit up here and say, you know, oh, I've been perfect, you know, I just made videos and it all worked out. That's absolutely not what happened. There was so many nights spent like just completely distraught from the fact that the channel was dying and, you know, like trying to figure out how to blow it up again and it wasn't working. The main thing I want you to take away from this is that repeatability is the best thing. A lot of people will sit there and say, no, you gotta, you know, reinvent the wheel constantly, you know, make sure that everything's fresh. Sometimes you don't have to do that. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just get so good at a niche that there is no way you can fall off and there's no way you won't blow up. And when I've stuck to those principles, that's when everything does the best. That's when my channels do the best. So yeah, look, if you gain something from this video, me and you probably have a lot in common. So look, YouTube has literally specifically picked this video you see on screen right now as probably a problem that you have right now and you know you need solving. So I'd recommend clicking it right now and yeah, subscribe.